Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Today we're going to be looking at this image and one or two others, mainly from Sol 214. Now this is Mars Perseverance, right mass cam Z camera, okay? There's a lot in this image set, so I'm showing you the individual one here because there's over 500 in this set. And there's another 500 in the left set, and there's loads of others as well from the other cameras. This is one of the biggest sets we've ever had. In fact, it's so enormous, in fact, it's almost impossible to get them all to kind of line up and join together. So I haven't put any gigapans of this setup yet, because there's a lot of damaged images as well. But I'll get back to that in a minute. Basically, I'll show you what I've got first, and these are not my finds, by the way. These were found by two other people, or researchers, I should say, and this is the main one. Now, this was found by Jim Miller a few days ago, on the 28th of November. There's his name there, found by Jim Miller. He posts regularly on my Mars group, which is called Mars Magazine, or ArtAlienTV Mars Magazine, okay, on Facebook. And this is one of his finds. I've got his find up here, just to prove that. There's the one I've just posted, but if you click on this link, the Facebook link at the top, it will take you to his, which is here. So, good find by Jim Miller. There's the whole image there. He's got a little square around the object, which is a statue, of course, and then an enlarged clip there, okay? I mean, it's obvious. We got two shoulders, we got a head with what looks like crazy hair either side, and a face, two eyes, a nose, and a mouth, and a chin, and a sort of strange helmet or hat, or I mean, it's very odd. It's very odd, but a lot of these are odd. I mean, I'll draw around it for you, but do I really need to draw around it? It's not the clearest. It's quite a long way off. I would say, if you look at Jim's image, this is the whole image, I think, and the Rover is quite a lot further down from this area, and this is kind of zoomed in. Well, we're looking at a clip or a zoomed in part of the ridgeline, and I would say this is about 100 feet away. So this is quite large. I would say this is a couple of feet in height, possibly more. I can't tell you exactly, no idea. If I get the actual raw image here, let's have a look at it. Here it is. Now, what this doesn't tell you is how far these things are. But if you look at the level of detail here, which is okay, when you zoom in, I would say these are about 40 feet away. Because if these were close up, this would be sharp and smoother. But if you look at the distortion in here, when you zoom in, this isn't very close, okay? This is pixelated. So I would say this is probably about 40, 50 feet away, making this probably about a 70 or 60 or about 70 feet, I don't know. What I will do, after this video, I will make a gigapan, at least with some of these images, because there's so many. I mean, there's well over 500 in this set. I'll make a limited gigapan of showing this and the other things I'm going to show you, just so we can work out the distances, because it's very hard to tell from one shot, because these are taken in the sequence with hundreds of other photographs that then all join together, okay? Here's the clips. In fact, it looks pretty clear in the negative here, I think, because that really shows the shape better, the overall shape. And you can see the mouth and the nose, the two eyes, and there is an ear here. There's the nose. The detail isn't very good, of course, because it's a long way off. There's the mouth, there's the chin, and it looks eroded, and it looks quite crude, I would say. Not the most advanced looking one I've seen on Mars. I have shown hundreds of similar things like this over the last 9 or 10 years. In fact, going back further than that on my websites and stuff. So these do exist. There are about a dozen fake channels on Mars that are doing Mars or churning out loads of fake Mars videos at the moment, who will show you a picture of a real statue from Earth on the cover and say something like statue on Mars, and then you click on the video and there's nothing in the video that resembles anything like a statue. And there are a couple of these that are the worst culprits. This is one of the worst ones. Mars Mission 2021 is the channel. This is typical. This is an out-and-out fake, where they've got an image of a pond from Earth and then grafted it onto a Mars image and then said that the Perseverance rover spotted a pond on Mars. Now, this is out-and-out fakery, okay? And I think this channel is linked to another channel called Mr. Danielle, who's also an out-and-out fake artist, okay? Absolute fakery, bogus nonsense, right? This is a psyop, like I said before. And there's a bunch of these channels, and they all come up right at the top of the list when you type in Mars. Some of these are kosher. Okay, look at this one. Mars search mission. That's not even Mars. I've looked at all these images, and I've never seen this one. This isn't even Mars. They're taking images from like Morocco, Tunisia, places like that, and just churn out loads and loads of absolute crap. There's Mr. Daniel. This is the worst culprit, I think. And this is another typical example of an image taken on Earth, and this person is now saying that this has got something to do with the Perseverance rover. This is nothing to do with Mars and nothing to do with the Perseverance rover, okay? It just looks a bit like Mars because it's in a desert somewhere, okay? And it's probably from Tunisia or Morocco or one of those African countries where they just got images and then claim that they're from Mars. This is out and out fraud. So I would advise that people do flag these channels and report them for spam and misleading content, okay, which I've showed you how to do before. There's a little flag thing you can do under the video. Don't bother giving a thumbs down because that won't count anymore, as if it ever did. There are genuine channels and researchers like Jim here, and the other find I've got is by another researcher who's genuine, and it's this one, which is really cool. And this is by Alien Skywatcher, who's got a channel on YouTube who does genuine stuff, and has got some good little finds actually. And this is one of the better ones, I think, or at least one of the recent ones, I should say. And this is the same Sol 214 Perseverance rover. This was spotted on the 23rd last month, so over a month ago, this one. And I failed to show it. I don't know why I forgot to show it, but I did. And you can clearly see, even though this is a long way off, this is about 100 feet away. This is quite large, at least 6 feet long. I would say possibly longer, could be 8. I don't know. Like I said, I'll put links to the Gigapan clips that I'm going to do below in the description near the top, and you can look on there, and that will give you an approximate size, okay? But this is also a long way off, and we got what sealed it for me is not only the head shape here at the back, but the foot shape. Look at the foot shape. We got an arched foot there and a heel and a sort of toe area and a leg coming up here, okay? And we got the body, and there's something on top like an arm or hand coming over like this, and is holding a scepter or some kind of staff or wand, okay? The magic wand is a scepter, and the scepter is the original magic wand. And what they could do with these things was quite miraculous, because the ancient Egyptians on Earth had electricity, and they had wireless electricity, and they knew, because the pyramids were generating electricity, right? They knew that if they had a wand that had a receiver in it, a copper receiver, right, like a little Tesla coil, that they could transmit electricity from one object or from the source to an object like a wand, which could then be used almost like a kind of taser, okay? You could point it at someone and probably shoot them with it. So they had taser technology. They had electricity. They were probably flying around. There's multiple glyphs on some of the in some of the pyramids and temples. Well, not in the pyramids, but in some of the temples at Abydos, where you have flying machines and things like that, like ships and there's one of a helicopter. I'll put clips of those in. Helicopter, and there's one of there's various other flying vehicles, and there's multiple clips of you can find on the internet of what they're like aliens and stuff as well in Egypt as well. So there was some weird stuff going on there, and they were probably communicating via the pyramids and stuff, which were multi-purpose machines, not only generated electricity, were probably pumping water from the Nile and then filtering it for drinking, and also splitting the water into its elements for fuel. Okay, that kind of thing. They were doing multiple stuff. Okay, so that's what the origin of the magic wand is. Now I think this comes to here actually. This is shadow here, but I could be wrong. It's hard to see. Let's brighten this up. I'll remove all that. You can see that hook shaped thing. That I think is a scepter or wand. Okay, there's the raw clip. You can still see it there, and this kind of looks like it comes in like this, but there is a sort of bit coming down like that, so I'm not sure if it comes to there like that. The shadow kind of obscures it, unfortunately. So what I'll do, I'll brighten that up a bit, and let's see if we can see into that shadow a bit, because that usually helps. Let's go a bit brighter. Yeah, you can actually see that there. The thing is lying flat on the ground like that, and then it comes up, and there's the head. We've got what looks like a scepter, a hand coming over holding it there, right? There's the hook shaped thing, which is a scepter or wand, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it could even be a weapon, don't know. Not enough detail. There's something else there on top, don't know what that is. But what really sealed it for me with this one is the foot, because look at the shape of that foot there. Toes, arch and heel, perfect. And it comes like that, and we've got a leg coming up. There's some detail on top here, but it's a bit vague. I have sharpened this a little bit, but over sharpening these images doesn't help. They just get distorted. But there is detail on top, and I can't quite make out what that is there, but it's interesting, right? And there's the hand or something. And there is a little bit of detail in the head, which looks like a face just here, but it's very vague. Unfortunately, too far away. Such a shame. And we may never get close to this one. This was quite a while ago now. This was about well over a month ago. So, you know, the rover's moved since then, and we may not get any close-ups of this ever. But quite convincing, I think. So great find by Alien Skywatcher. Let's just have a quick look at this before we go, and then it's pretty obvious what it is. I mean, what can I say? It's yet another one, right? And yes, I do want to show more buildings. Yes, I do want to show more structures, but I do not control this rover. I can only show you what we can see in the images that it takes. If you gave me control of this rover for one day, I would prove beyond all reasonable doubt that there was a civilization on Mars. In fact, I could do it in a matter of hours by getting up close to these things and driving actually right round them and taking photos from all the way around, taking samples. Unfortunately, when you have things made of stone, like a lot of these things are, it's impossible to carbon date them because you cannot carbon date stone. And the object, if it's made from local stone, which it probably is, would be the same age as the actual geological stone in the area. So it doesn't give you a date when it was made. Okay, you can only date these things by digging them up, and that's what we have to do. And really, what we needed on this rover was one that could do archaeology and actually dig into the ground and actually uncover these things with a brush and a trowel and with robotic arms that would dig down, and a way of removing the sand safely, and actually exposing the entire object instead of us just seeing the top part or the unburied section of the object. Okay, that's what we need. We need a rover with robotic arms, with a full set of not only the geological tools that it has now, but also archaeological tools. It probably could do it to a certain extent now, but it's not really designed for that. It needs to be able to dig down into the sand, remove the sand, and uncover these things in their entirety and go down like a digger, okay? That's what we really need. And it wouldn't have to be that big. I mean, obviously it would help if it was reasonable size, like the modern rovers are now, like Perseverance and Curiosity. But there could be a sort of sub-rover that comes out of one of these things that could do a lot of this stuff, you know, which could be a bit smaller. And you could even use the Mars, the copter drone to actually clear some of the sand away, just by hovering over it, you know. I mean, this is possible, you know. These things are possible, and I could actually prove these things are real once and for all if I was just given control of these things just for a day, without any doubt whatsoever. But of course, I've already shown hundreds of these things, and these are two very good examples. This one is particularly good, by Jim here. But I have similar finds to this going back years and years and years and years, and some of them are very clear. Some of them are really amazing. A lot of them are quite a long way off like this, but a lot of them are really up close as well. And some of them are massive. Some of them are hundreds of feet long, or 100 feet high, some of them. Like the Mars Emperor, or the giant Sphinx that I've shown. These things are massive, and are irrefutable. There's no way they're just happenstance or circumstance or just erosion. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And the pyramids and structures, not only in this area, but in by the Curiosity in Gale Crater, did not build themselves. And the people there that built them must have ate something, which is why there's lots of animal remains around as well. Not only were they probably burying some of the animals, which they probably had as pets or were revered, but there seem to be quite fresh specimens around on the ground that aren't millions of years old, or may only be something like 12,000 years old or something like that. So I'm guessing the cataclysm on Mars, or the war or whatever it was, I think the war was probably earlier, but the cataclysm on Mars, which totally finished them off, probably was around 12,000 years ago when we had one here. It would make sense, okay? And that's why a lot of these things are eroded, but they're still in quite good condition. They're not millions and millions of years old. They're over 10,000 years old, I would say. At least, I would say. But there we are. So there it is. You can see all that in there. You can see the facial detail. If you get too close to it, it doesn't get that much clearer, but you've got the chin, you've got the mouth, you've got the nose, and you've got the eyes. But it's quite pixelated because it's a long way off. But we've got this crazy sort of hair, or whatever it is either side, and this weird sort of hat. There's some detail there. How strange is that? And we've got quite angled shoulders, but this looks like an object here. It's there as well, which is hard to make out. But there's something there, just there. You can see that thing there. So interesting. Good find by John Miller. That one, very good, and a very good find by Alien Skywatcher. Fascinating stuff. This one, great. The detail on top there. Okay. It's getting close. Have a good look at that. I'll put clips of these in again in a second anyway. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and beware of the fake channels on YouTube. There are dozens of them.